Welcome to a discussion of the October federal milk marketing data that the USDA released this week. This is Dr. Lawrence Jones, and I'm recording this on Saturday, November the 15th. So the big overview is that the statistical uniform prices, when I weighed them according to the amount of milk in each order, came out to about $17.50. Now, Class 4 came in because it was falling in price, and remember that you usually depool the higher of, and Class 3 started going out of the pool. Now, month over milk, the pooled milk was actually down, and that's because of the depooling of Class 3. And I'm going to project that the actual production was probably flat. Now, at the same time, fat was very strong, and it was up 9 ticks. So here are statistical uniform prices. They came down about $1.17. The highest one is usually in Florida, and it was at 22.62. And the lowest one is California, which is living and dying on Class 4 at 15.54. Most everybody else was in, that 17 plus or minus. Of course, the Southeast is always a couple dollars higher. How did they change? It's all going to depend upon how the different classes changed and what kind of depooling there was. Class 4 was way down at $1.87. So anybody that's bringing Class 4 in and taking Class 3 out is going to show a fairly significant loss, as did California at $1.77. And there were a couple minus $1.53s, $1.56 in the Northwest and Texas. Most everybody else was in that dollar plus or minus a little bit. What's interesting to me is how did the production change? And it's really hard to sort it out with the depooling, but we know overall that milk was down, 6.8 percentage points. And again, a lot of that is going to be the depooling. If we look at our bellwether Northeast, they're at 98.5, so down about 1.5 points. Florida was up a little bit. They're not going to depool. But you get to these ones that were depooling, and they're going to be, up a little bit, 105, 103. So we graph those out. Total milk production was down. Class 3 was down significantly. Class 1 trended up just a little, and Class 4 trended up, which is consistent with the fact that we probably took more 3 out than we put 4 in. So what I'm going to suggest is about 100% month over month. Typical is 99.7. We were at 100% last month, and I'm going to go ahead with that this month. If we do 100%, we're going to make about 19.6 billion pounds, and that's going to be a 4.5% increase year over year. So again, we had very heavy Class 3 depooling. We're way down off of what our capacity is. If we look at the Class 1 utilization, that's always highest in the Southeast, and it was actually up about 3 ticks to 32.3. The areas that have very little Class 1, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, are just not gaining the benefits of the changes in the federal milk marketing order that will be coming up here in December, which is going to increase the skim prices. Specifically, Class 3 is very high in Minnesota, Wisconsin. Again, they live and die by Class 3. California live and dies by Class 4. But it was like Order 32 that decreased their utilization of Class 3 by almost 14 ticks. So they probably took the most out proportional to anybody else. California took down 4 ticks, and Northwest about. Class 4 came back in, and again, as I've been saying, California lives and dies on Class 4, and you can see the ones that took the Class 3 out brought the Class 4 back in. Fat values are very strong. When I was entering this data, it's like, whoa, everybody's basically over 4 except Florida. And the Northwest is clear up to 4.53. So the average weighted for the amount of milk in each pool was about 4.31. And again, that's going to be up 9 ticks. And if anybody would have told me that we're going to have a national average of 4.3% fat with largely Holsteins, I would have told you were nuts about 10 years ago, but here we are. Protein values are also very strong. Northwest is at 352, as is Texas. So all the components are relatively strong. So now that the government is reopened, we can start looking at a calendar. This last week, there was a national holiday, but the markets were open. We did get the WASDE and crop reports. But this next week, we're going to get the global dairy trade, the second one for November. Then we're going to get the advanced prices on the 19th, and then another milk production report, which I will get you a milk market tidbit on that.